Hello, and you are back live with the crew, and thank you so much. You're not live. You and I are live, but you know the video isn't. It's recorded. Anyway, man, I had a week off. That's what I'm saying here. And I had a blast. I caught a lot of fish. I did a lot of great hiking with Elizabeth and I. Did a few quite lengthy at elevation hikes, day hikes. Really had a great time. It was good fun. And believe it or not, I missed making videos. And I know that sounds crazy. But I did a show last night. Those of you who have not seen it, I do a show every Thursday night. It's live. It's 5:30 West Coast time, 8:30 Eastern. And it's about how to exit, how to get out of your crypto, how to get out of your precious metals, your real estate, or whatever it is you're wanting to cash out. You're wanting to maybe find a way to get some residual income from anything, or find a way to better your life any way that you can, tax-wise, financially wise, and some of those things. Not tax advice, not financial advice, none of those things. I gave that license up many years ago in my life, and I don't pursue those days any longer. I'm simply here to be a guidance and help for all of us, because we're all lost when it comes to money skill. We don't teach that in our schools. We don't teach even our friends and neighbors. Our friends and neighbors have and I'm going to tell you a story here in a minute. Our friends and neighbors have this very archaic, 4 generations ago, save every dime, put every penny under your mattress, and that's the best you can do. Inflation will crush you if you do that. If that's your game plan today, you're not going to stay ahead. You're not going to get ahead, and you're going to, if you play by those rules in that system and the way they built it, and you're teaching your children that, you could do better. I'm not saying that, saving all your money and living frugally is the worst thing you can do, but I will tell you that you are getting crushed by inflation. There's absolutely no question about that. Now, for those of us who have been smart enough to get some of these digital assets, most of you are probably up on your portfolio. Depends on how long you've had them. But you're seeing the future. Tech is coming to you. All things will be tokenized, and that's kind of where I want to talk in this video. This is a fantastic little conversation. I am taking our truck and our camper to the mountains. Really explained to Elizabeth and I that we need a little bigger truck. The truck we have is kind of tired, and he's a little guy, and he struggled our camper up the hill and down again. But to be honest, it's not fair to the truck or anything else that we haul feed, we haul everything for our little small farm here, and everything gets done on our little Tokoma Truck. We're beating it up. We're in the market for another vehicle. So, and as you know, they're all very expensive. So I'm thinking, well, I'm going to use the bank's money. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use some IBC angle, maybe for the down payment. And I'm going to, if you don't know what IBC is, Simon and I do a Tuesday night show. That's IBC. That's going to be changing. This Tuesday night, I'm going to give you a format change on what's happening there. Catch you up to speed. This banker. So I get a hold of my credit union. I've had a credit union for, 15, 20 years of these people now, it seems like. And so I call in. I've financed a couple of vehicles through them. So, I have good credit, really good credit. And so I thought, well, okay, I'm going to try and get a good loan. I got a pretty decent number. I was thinking, okay, that sounds good. And she goes, well, okay, what are you going to buy? Is it going to be a new vehicle? I don't know. I'd rather buy one a couple of years old. That's just kind of the way I do it. And that just seems to make more sense. And in this case, the vehicle I want, that anyway, you don't need to get into all that. I was talking to her, and she said, well, you might want to talk to our commercial finance people, as you have a small company, So I get this commercial loan writer, if you will, on the phone. And he and I, great guy, Sal. So I started talking to Sal, and I said, we're having a great conversation back and forth. He said, your business is a little small. We're kind of more of we would buy 10 trucks or fleet dealer. We're more of a commercial business. Thanks for thinking of us. But he and I hit it off so well, I started talking to him, as you might expected from a guy of my situation in life. Hey, what do you know about crypto, Sal? Gotta ask, right? He's a banker, all right, of sorts. Oh, well, I don't know. That's risky. And I thought, sure, I would have bet any amount of money he was going to say it's volatile. He never used volatile. Anyway, sometimes you get those wrong. It's either risky or volatile. That's the first thing I ever. So I went easy on him. I did say, well, so in other words, you don't know the first thing about it, basically, right? This is what I really want to say. So I kind of led him down the path a little bit, let him, give him a little rope, and so he said, well, we were just in Vegas, and we have an annual show, and funny you asked that. The theme, basically, of the show was digital assets. Bingo. I was like, well, now we're talking, Sal. Now we can talk. I said, what happened? Exactly how did that work out? How many people were there? And like he said, it was credit unions from all over the nation. I thought, well, that's amazing. I said, Sal, what, you're just an underwriter. You write loans. What else do you do for the company and this and that? So, well, that's about it. My wife got me in and said, what's your wife do? Long story short, she works in compliance. And I thought, wow, compliance, that would be handy for us to have, a discussion with your wife. I'd love to have a chat with her about some of the compliance factors and commercial loans that I have questions about. I wish you'd have her give me a call. As of yet, she has not called me back. However, he does know some things about compliance and some things that she said. And over the 3 days they were in Vegas, essentially it went like this. Now, this is from layman's terms. He doesn't really know anything about crypto or what's going on in that sense. I said, so let me get this straight. You guys went there to learn more about what tokenization and crypto is. He said, no, it's not crypto. It's digital assets. Well, I was like, well, okay, I get that. I get that he wouldn't know the difference, but I do. I know there isn't one. But anyway, so he is like, no, it's digital assets, and we're all going to a new form of digital assets, and it's blockchain. And I was like, yeah, okay, all right, no, that can't be crypto. I don't know what that might be. Can't be crypto. And I said, well, so did you get into ISO or anything? And he said, yeah. And I said, 20022 or 21 or 22 or 23 or 25. Which one? Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, we talked about that. My wife knows more about that than I do. I said, boy, I'd really love to talk to your wife. Well, Allan, what is it you do? And I said, well, I wasn't about to tell him, but I beat around the bush a little bit. And I said, well, I'm, my banking background, and, I've been in finance most of my life in one way or another. And just following it mostly and macro picture. And I, do some things and some research for some people over the years. And I mainly just work now with a thing called IBC, and he and I talked about that for 5 or 10 minutes. And then I got into trust, and then he really was interested, and now he's going to be, probably working with me on some of that. Anyway, I'm off track here. I asked him, I said, so it was really more important for your wife to be at this show. Yeah, they really wasn't for me. It was for compliance. Now we're getting somewhere for sure. And I said, well, okay, so all the compliance departments were there to do what? To just catch up? Or, well, they had just had a meeting in D.C. Yeah. They just had a meeting in D.C., and what this meeting was to show and spread what the top brass knew and what they had learned and what they had done. And I said, man, I'd really like to talk to your wife. And he was like, oh, I'll have her give you a call. She's always loves talking about this kind of stuff. And she really thinks, digital assets are the future. And she was telling me at the pool that you ever heard of CBDCs? And I said, yeah, I've heard of those. I kind of know what they are, sure. And he said, really, you do? And I said, yeah. He said, this is exactly how he put it. Well, our bank is going to create their own CBDCs. And I went, huh, CBDCs or stablecoins? He goes, no, I don't know what a stablecoin is. CBDCs. I said, so your private bank, which is a credit union actually, is going to issue its own CBDCs. I said, you know what CBDCs are, right? He said, yeah, kind of. And I said, central bank digital currencies. You're going to become a central bank? I thought you guys were a credit union. He said, yeah, I don't know enough about it. You're going to have to talk to my wife. But yeah, that's the way I understand it, is we're going to issue our own CBDCs. That's interesting. So then I started talking to Sal. I said, well, Sal, that's probably not possible, but I suppose anything's possible going forward. And then I got off the phone and I started thinking. I started doing a little bit of research. Mind you, this is one of the top 10. I'd say well, it's top 5 or 6 credit unions in the nation, and they have a lot of pull and a lot of power. I don't think they're ever going to be a central bank, but it did plant a seed in my head, which was, wait a minute, maybe what we think is what is central banks is going to change or evolve over time. As I've always spoke on this channel, it's not just about creating stable coins. It's about becoming the value of what you think is valuable. In other words, if your BofA comes out with its coin or its digital asset and they think theirs is worth more than, say, Wells Fargo's, but they're interchangeable, but one might be worth $1.02 and the other one might be only worth 98 cents to the general public. You see where I'm going with that. I found that to be really an interesting concept. So I dug around a little bit and I couldn't find anything about compliance or them going directly into ISO, in particular this institution. However, I did find where they write their paper from, okay, which is a massive bank that we discuss on this channel quite often, is no other than our favorite little bank of New York, little Mr. Mellon. That's correct. Listen to this one, guy. Again, I don't know. I don't have any facts other than the fact that this credit union borrows its money, okay, when it needs outside money. Most of its money is from its inside people, correct? We all know that. That's what a credit union is. Everybody deposits the money and that credit union uses that. But when they use outside money, such as these large commercial loans, okay, they need money, as everybody needs some form of liquidity, right? They go to New York Bank. Think about that. New York Mellon. So, what do we know about New York Mellon? What do they want to be? They want to be the custodian. They want to custody everybody's coin and then give you the CBDC in this case. In other words, they would hand them a coin. They would issue their own coin. They would say, Al's coins, the pizza joint's coin, the Pepsi Cola would have its own coin. Everybody would have their own coins. However, it would run through Bank of New York Mellon, but it would not run through the central bank because they're going to become a central bank. You following that? I hope that made sense. It all became very clear to me. I don't know if I'm onto something or I'm just way out on a limb again, which is 90% of the time limbs I go out on are quite long and lengthy. However, it all made sense to me. Now, when I get a hold of my banking buddy, again, because I just found this out today, I was just talking to the guy about truck loan, And so I got most of this, and it rang those bells that I'm discussing with you today. When I get a chance to talk to my banker buddy, I'm going to bounce that concept off of him because he would know. He would say yes, no, maybe. He wouldn't say maybe. He'd say yes or no. He's that kind of guy. Hopefully that all makes sense to you. I really want to finish this video on a short period of time without going too crazy. Please join me on Thursday nights. If you don't get anything from the content on Thursday nights, that's okay. Just say, Allan, you're out of your mind. None of that stuff resonates with me. It doesn't make any sense. Better luck next time. But if you've enjoyed my shows over the years, please stop by on Thursdays. Every other Thursday will be April Mora. She's brilliant. She's clear, concise. You can understand her. She talks a little fast sometimes. If that's too fast for you, just watch the video again and again, because her answers paint a perfect picture of what your financial future could look like, number one. Number two, it should look like, because I'm going to end with this. I have this little concept, and I'm working with everybody that I talk to personally. By the way, if you sent me an email and you're hoping for me to get back with you, I will get back with you very shortly. I have a long list, and I'm doing it in order of received. And I'm sorry, because I like to talk to people, that I don't get 20 calls in a day. I only knock a few off each day because I really like to get to know the people that, have spent the time and reached out to me. I want this concept to ring a bell with you. The trust in which company in which I'm working with will accept your XRP in payment. I know what you're thinking. I'm not selling my XRP for that trust. I get that. I understand that. But let's just say right now, well, it's 54 cents. You say to yourself, I'm in a DCA, and I'm in a DCA over the next 6 months to a year, whatever it might be. The longer the price stays down, happier days for you. And I'm going to explain why. Because if you're spending 50 cents and then it becomes $1, right? Now your trust cost you half price as soon as your coins double in value. Do you understand that one? So now you get to get a trust for half price off. Why? Because this trust company will accept your XRP in payment. Therefore, you don't have to sell your XRP on an exchange. You simply give it to them, non-taxable event. You didn't sell anything. You didn't gain any money. You gave them directly the value of the coin, the new value being $1, which means if your trust was 10 grand or 20 grand, it's half that price what it costs you. Well, let's say it goes to $2. Now you're paying what? $1,000, $1,500 on a $10,000 policy. Do you understand? That's what I realized with the truck. That's what I realized. If I'm spending my coins that I've had for the last 10 years and they've gone up 3 times or 4 times, I'm actually spending 25 cents on the dollar. It's beautiful, guys. The world we live in with the crypto world going forward is everything always gets cheaper for us. The world gets more expensive for them. It's a shame. It's sad it has to be that way, but anybody that owns assets understands that. Your life gets cheaper every time they print more money, not more expensive. I know, sounds crazy, but it works. Do the math. I want to just say this. It's so good being back with you guys. I'm sorry that the video rambled on as long as it did. I love you all very much. It's fun to be back. And please join me for Thursday nights, because we're learning a lot. We're sharing a lot. And the questions you give me is brilliant. Triggers great thought processes of stuff that I'd forgotten in years past, and you really have helped me out. And we are going to have April on every other week, and you guys are going to love it. If this kind of content resonates with you and you've always thought about hitting subscribe and you never did, think about doing it now, because it's free and everything. So why wouldn't you do that? With that, I'm out, and I love you very much. So yeah, I take a week off, enjoying myself. I leave the whole XRP thing to all of you all. Just please handle it while I'm gone, will you? Just take care of things. Number go up. And I come back and
Number didn't go up. What have you people been doing? What were you doing all week? The number's right where I left it. I'm thinking somebody's asleep here. You guys gotta think harder. You gotta focus. I need you to focus here. All right. Now I need you to think positive, and I need you to think number go up. All right. Are you with me on that? Right. Number go up. Unless you're trying to pay for something in the future and you want to buy it cheap, so you buy a bunch of those coins now, and when it triples, you get it for a third of the price it would have cost you a year from now. Hope that makes sense. Love you all.